Welcome to Riley's Gardening Adventures. So today is going to be a seed starting and transplanting video. I had some people ask me how I garden, and I decided, hey, let's do a little tutorial video slash follow along with me, and I will show you exactly how I seed start and transplant for fall. Now, the very first thing you want to do in starting the season is have a plan. Right here is my garden bed plan. So when it comes to my garden bed, I always have a methodical plan set out. I measure everything. With my container garden, it's more on the feeling moment, but still some level of planning is involved. Right here you can see Napa cabbage needs 18 inches of space. So I made sure that each plant has 18 inches of space and that they also have the appropriate space in between each other. That way each plant can grow pretty well and not be crowded, and you'll have the optimal harvest. So when it comes to seed starting, there's two main ways you can do it. You can either direct seed it into the pot or garden bed you plan it in, or you can start it in trays. So I do both ways, and some do better with others. When it comes to stuff like radishes and turnips, you want to direct seed them. They do not do well in trays and transplanting them. However, some things like kale, which can be either planted directly or in trays. And first I'm going to show you the tray method. Now, the tray method is very easy. You just use a seed starting mix. I'm not sponsored by any of these brands or beholden to any type of method of gardening. I just garden the way how I want to. And with here, you can use potting soil or seed starting mix. I prefer seed starting mix because I just have better germination rates, and it's softer and easier for the plant to grow in as a baby. And I also mix it in with Osmocote. You don't really have to use nutrition because plants have nutrition in their seed shells, but I just like a little bit of boost and give it something to tide it over before I eventually transplant. What you want to do is always wet your seed starting mix before you put it in these trays. Now, the reason is because I found that when you put this in dry and you put the seeds in and you try to water it, it's really hard to get the soil wet. It kind of becomes hydrophobic, and it's just easier to plant when the soil is already wet. When the soils are in the trays and they're moist and ready to go, now it's just time to start planting. So this is where your plan comes in helpful. It says right here, kimchi cabbage, six pieces. So I just have to have 6 of these squares will be filled with kimchi cabbage seeds. So now I have my seeds. As you can see, these seeds are quite small from the kimchi cabbage. So when you want to plant these, depending on the size, you don't really want to bury it too deep, and you want to use multiple seeds instead of just 1 or 2. Now for oh no, someone's mowing. So now I want to put in about maybe 3 to 4 per cell. I have a lot of seeds, so it doesn't matter if I have to thin out some, so just put it in here. And afterwards, you just cover the seeds with the rest of the soil. Once they're covered with the soil, you're pretty much good to go. And that's basically how you do seed starting in trays. Okay, so now we're going to direct seed. And direct seeding, as I said, is best with stuff like radishes. So first and foremost, you just want to look at the back of the seed packet, know how much you can grow in a container and how much you're supposed to space them out. So this needs 2 inches per seed, and you can up to put 12 per container, so that'll be pretty nice. 30 days to harvest. So first you want to do is a little bit of preparation of the soil. Now we're going to use this container right in front of me here today, and we're going to dig a little bit into the surface and make sure that it's ready. It's right here. We just want to soften it up because we don't want the seeds having a hard time with a packed up compact surface. And you may be wondering, hey, if it's old soil, isn't it not that good? Well, you're right. That's where nutrition comes in. We got Osmocote Plus. We're basically going to revitalize this soil and have it ready for the next season. I just shake it in. It doesn't really burn your seeds. That's what I like about Osmocote. Just don't put like a entire container worth full inside of one pot. But yeah, basically just mix it up. And then you, just like with the trays, you moisten it, pre-moisten it. And the best part is, you just stick your finger in the soil, and that's where you will plant the seeds. So we can put 12 in the container, around 2 inches. Now we have 12 holes, and then we're gonna get the seed packet and drop the seeds in. Now I got the seeds in my hand, and I'm just going to place them in each of the holes.
You can be liberal with how much seeds you put in. Since I have a ton of seeds, I don't really care. I'll just thin them out later. You just drop them in the hole, and once you place in all the seeds, you just want to cover it with the soil. Basically just cover them up, and you can moisten them again with the hose. Just make sure that it's all covered with the soil. Pat it down just to make it a little bit surface level, and then water it. Should see germination in a few days, and just check up on it. If you don't see germination, you kind of messed up. Now I put a lot of seeds, so I will have to thin it out, and you may be wondering, what is thinning? I want to know. No. So just basically, it's when you have a bunch of seeds and they all germinate, which is possible if you have high germination rates, then you just cut off the extra ones and leave how many a pot can properly take care of. So if it says 12, you just want to leave 12 plants 2 inches apart, like the seed packet said.
Alright, so the garden bed is very similar when it comes to direct planting in pots. Just follow your plan right here. I'm going to direct seed the sweet baby radish 94 inches from the very left of the garden bed. So right here I have the measuring tape at 94 inches, and I'm going to space the radishes all along a row, 9 pieces 4 inches apart. That's how you do it. This is how you seed start. Stay tuned for more adventures on Riley's Gardening Adventures.